Brave, you talked about it being kind of a fairy tale and being sort of one for Pixar to tell. I think this particular movie, you guys decided to take a little bit more of a grounded approach. If you look, say, at maybe How to Train Your Dragon or something, there's more leaning into this is a fantasy world, and this is a fantasy, sort of, it's our world, but there's very heavy fantasy dragons and things. But where you guys leaned was more grounded, more ancient, earthy. This is a real castle in a real place. She's going to turn into a bear and not a dragon or a goblin or a troll. Can you talk about sort of wanting to sort of be grounded, but include some of those whimsical elements like the will o' the wisp that sort of elevates it in mystery?
Um, I think it was also a reaction to, the whimsical worlds of Little Mermaid and even Beauty and the Beast, the pointy towers and Sleeping Beauty and all of that. I love those films, so it's not a negative
Oh,
reaction. Don't get me wrong,
for
I
sure.
love those films, but because I was trying to shift and turn the whole princess thing on its ear with this film, I wanted the world to feel different.
Mhm.
And so it seemed like everything I gravitated towards with the, you collect photographs and that kind of thing that sort of help put your head in it. It wasn't the finished castles, it was always ruins of castles, the stones, the rough hewn, and it ended up either being in Wales or Scotland. It just seemed like that's where all my imagery came from. And then I just realized, you know what, I love Scotland. Let's just go that route. Originally it was sort of going to be this nondescript, European country, but then I realized what grounds us and the characters, just moving towards more Scotland, and then Billy Connolly for the dad, and Emma Thompson, whose mother is Scottish, she
Mm.
had that grounding, and they have such a rich lore, and so when we went there on a research trip, we talked about the will o' the wisps, and they were talking about, and it's a natural phenomenon actually of
Oh,
methane gas. It's when static electricity on the moors, and there's gas that comes up and it sparks, and so
ah,
people see them and they go towards them, and the movement of the air in front of them pushes it away, so it looks like it's moving and it's beckoning, so that's that's the
ah.
physical actual thing that happens. But so many people believe they're these little spirits, and they, so taking the lore of the place and then playing with it. I remember though on one of the trips, because I'd written the bear in as mom, and one of the guides said there were never bears in Scotland. What are you talking about? But and I said, well, the research I've done, yeah, they were hunted to extinction, by a certain date. No, no, no. And he checked with his son, who had this, who was worked for the Natural History Museum or something. And then he says, yeah, Dad, that we had bears in Scotland. They probably weren't nearly as big as these bears, but I figured we could play with that, and get, since they had, both Mordu and the mother bear was based on, uh, mythical aspects. So yeah, I just, when I was trying to explain what I wanted for my production designer, Steve Pilcher, because he came in and he started doing this really designy stuff. I'm like, no, look at these pictures. And he goes, well, describe what you want. And I just couldn't bring it into words. So I just went, I just went, that's what I want for the, it's not, pointy and nice. So, but then that said it to him. And then he was able to then start playing with, the look and the ruggedness of the film. And it matches the sort of the general personality of the Scots too. they have sort of this earthy quality to them, and this incredible sense of humor that not quite as reserved as the English. So
Yeah.